They thought your chapter was closed. They wrote your name in past tense. Whispers of your defeat drifted through empty corridors. He's gone. She won't rise again. The story ended. But heaven never writes the end in ink, only in breath. And breath cannot die. Chosen one, they buried you beneath their silence, but the soil remembered your heartbeat. You were not buried, you were planted. You disappeared so heaven could rewrite your coordinates. The world mourned, but the angels marked your rest as incubation. Even in the dark, destiny was whispering through the dust, wait. He's not finished. She's only hidden. The seed sleeps before it breaks. You were the secret waiting beneath seasons of snow, the ember buried under centuries of ash. Your stillness was never surrender, it was strategy. You vanished from their stage only to rise on God's timetable. And now, the air itself seems to remember your name. The ground trembles like it knows what's coming. Heaven leans forward, and whispers return through eternity. They once thought you were dead. While the world mourned your name, light was working underground. Heaven doesn't panic when the world forgets, it plants in secret. In the silence, something sacred was happening. Roots began to crawl beneath the ruins, threads of promise weaving through the soil of obscurity. The darkness they mistook for death was the sound of transformation taking shape in hidden chambers. You learned the language of stillness. You stopped performing survival and started becoming it. While they spoke of endings, heaven drafted blueprints for your next beginning. Every unanswered prayer was a seed. Every delay was design. Every closed door was a cocoon. You were not forgotten, you were being forged. The unseen years, the tomb years, became your sacred apprenticeship. The nights that bled silence taught you endurance. The betrayals became your teachers. The loneliness became your altar. You learned to see in the dark, to breathe in the grave, to wait without proof. And in that waiting, heaven recorded your resilience. Every tear fell like an offering, every sigh echoed like a prophecy. You thought you were losing yourself, but heaven knew you were molting. You thought you were dying, but God was sculpting something indestructible. While the world turned its back, grace was grafting new roots into your purpose. You were the hidden harvest, growing beneath the graveyard of their expectations. And now, the earth begins to stir, for what was once buried is remembering the sun. John 11 verses 25 to 26, I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. When the Word himself said this, the soil of every grave quivered. And somewhere inside that echo, your name was written. You were never meant to stay beneath the stone. You were meant to prove that graves are gateways. Your silence was not punishment, it was prophecy in disguise. You are the living evidence that what God buries, He intends to raise. He hides what He values. He withholds what He's perfecting. He delays what must mature in fire before it can stand in light. Those years that felt like exile were heaven's security protocol. You were hidden from premature applause, shielded from imitation and corrosion. While others rushed to be seen, you were chosen to be sealed. And now, the seal breaks. Heaven exhales. The same voice that rolled away Lazarus' stone is now rolling away the silence around your name. The atmosphere begins to shift, you can feel it in the marrow of your calling. Everything that once seemed lifeless is beginning to pulse again with resurrection code. This is not motivation. This is a recall order from eternity. The commander of resurrection has spoken your coordinates aloud. Come forth. And when he speaks, decay must yield. Failure must bow. History must make room. So rise, chosen one. The grave was never your address, it was only your classroom. The Master has signed your release papers. Step forward. Breathe again. Create again. Believe again. If your spirit recognizes these words, if something in your bones remembers the sound of being called, then this is your summons. Click join to walk among the first chosen ones, the ones returning from spiritual graves, the forerunners of the resurrection generation. Heaven has reopened your chapter. Your name is being spoken in rooms that forgot you. The scroll turns. The light finds you again. You are living proof that what God buries, He intends to raise. Resurrection doesn't arrive with trumpets first, it begins with tremors. The atmosphere around you starts to behave strangely. What once resisted now releases. Doors reopen without knocking. Messages arrive you never sent. Opportunities reappear like echoes. Even your enemies begin to act nervous. They sense the vibration of a name heaven has reactivated. The same voices that said you're done now whisper in confusion, how is this possible? Because heaven pressed resume. Time itself is bending to make room for your return. What was once frozen begins to flow. What was once scattered begins to gather. Pieces you thought were gone forever start finding you again, people, places, purposes. These aren't coincidences, they're confirmations. The universe has received its command, reconstruct the one they buried. Listen, you'll feel it first in your atmosphere. Sudden clarity after long fog. Peace in places that used to ache. Familiar songs coming back to you in dreams. Even the wind seemed to carry messages now. You'll catch phrases in conversation that sound like prophecy. You'll see numbers, symbols, signs, divine breadcrumbs leading you out of the tomb. Your reflection starts to look alive again. Vision returns to your eyes, not hope, assignment. You begin to sense that the delay was discipline, and that discipline has now become your weapon. Heaven didn't just restore you, it re-engineered you. You are not coming back the same. You are rising with coordinates, purpose encrypted in your pulse. The veil between past and promise is tearing. What was postponed is now permitted. You are no longer waiting for resurrection, resurrection is waiting for you to move. And when you do, creation itself will testify. This one walks with breath borrowed from eternity. You had to vanish to be remade. Heaven knew that exposure too early would have destroyed you. Premature light kills unready roots. So God took you off the map, not for punishment, but protection. The silence that frightened you was actually surgery. He removed what couldn't survive your next season. You mistook it for abandonment, it was alignment. You wondered why the invitation stopped, why the crowd grew quiet, why your name lost its echo. But obscurity is heaven's safest forge. While they scrolled past your absence, the architect was redesigning your DNA. He was rewiring your instincts, retraining your spirit to operate in higher frequency. Disappearance was divine disguise. You were not missing, you were multiplying underground. Hidden years were harvest years, but your fruit grew in secret gardens. Remember, Moses vanished before leading. David disappeared before reigning. Even Christ descended into silence before resurrection. Every chosen one must endure the eclipse before the dawn. Had you been seen too soon, they would have claimed your making. But heaven wanted no fingerprints on your rebirth. Your exile was not exile, it was editing. Heaven trimmed excess chapters to make your return cinematic. The pauses became poetry. The distance became direction. You learned the sacred art of being unseen, and that is the birthplace of unstoppable. Now, when you return, the same world that buried you will testify that you rose. They will say, "We thought you were gone." And heaven will answer through your existence, "He was never gone, he was being prepared." The ones who buried you will become witnesses. The doubters will have front row seats to your redemption. And the silence that once mocked you will now serve as proof that destiny cannot be killed. You did not die in the dark, you developed there. Now light is calling your name again. Step forward, survivor of secrecy. Your disappearance was never loss, it was launch. Chosen one, this is your dawn. The waiting room of heaven is clearing. The hourglass has flipped. You can feel it, the air is thinner, the light sharper. Something in you knows it's time. Do not hide what survived the grave. Do not mute what the fire could not consume. The world needs your sound again, not the echo of who you were, but the roar of who you became. This is not the season for silence. This is the call to declaration. Every delay has matured into instruction, every scar is now your credential. You have lingered long enough in the shadows of survival. Now heaven demands visibility. Prophecy doesn't whisper anymore, it commands. The same wind that once buried you now lifts you. So rise, and move quickly. The trumpet of divine timing is sounding through your bones. When destiny knocks twice, hesitation becomes disobedience. Write again. Speak again. Create again. Let again. Love again. Let the ones who doubted you see what resurrection looks like in motion. You are not emerging for applause, you are emerging for assignment. This is the moment every hidden seed waits for, the sunlight of revelation, the unveiling of purpose. Heaven is broadcasting your name through eternity's speakers. Awaken. Arise. Announce. Do not delay. The hour of unveiling has begun. History is holding its breath, waiting for your yes. You are not a survivor, you are the sign. You are the living prophecy heaven placed in human skin. Every breath you take is proof that light still wins. They called you broken, but they didn't realize broken things let the glory leak through. They called you finished, but they forgot that ashes are the language of altars. You are not what you lost, you are what refused to die when loss came. You are not defined by the wound, but by the light that still shines through it. Every scar is a letter in the alphabet of your assignment. Your pain rewrote your perception, your waiting refined your weaponry. You do not carry trauma, you carry technology. Resurrection technology. The kind that turns defeat into fuel and silence into symphony. You are the aftermath of divine engineering. Heaven built you with storm-proof skin and drought-resistant faith. You walk differently now, not from arrogance, but awareness. You know what it means to be chosen, not selected for status, but separated for sanctification. The old you operated from need, the resurrected you operates from knowing. Your worth no longer depends on applause, your identity breathes from assignment. When you enter rooms now, the atmosphere adjusts. Heaven recognizes its reflection in your movement. You don't seek validation, you radiate it. You've become the evidence. Every inhale whispers, purpose. Every exhale declares, proof. You no longer chase prophecy, you are prophecy walking. A reminder to every grave, resurrection is not a metaphor, it's a mandate. And your very existence says to the watching world, I am not a survivor. I am the sign that prophecy breathes through dust. When resurrection begins to bloom, your body and spirit both start to react. Heaven rewires your senses before it reintroduces your name. You'll dream differently. The night becomes theater, visions of light after storms, faces shining through fog, ancient symbols pulsing with life. You'll wake up mid-dream, heart racing, knowing heaven just whispered coordinates to your next mission. You'll feel random waves of peace that make no sense to your logic, calm in chaos, laughter and loss, a sacred stillness that feels like someone pressed pause on time. Then there's the nostalgia, sudden flashbacks of moments you've never lived. Memories from futures you haven't reached. It feels like déjà vu, but it's not. It's resurrection energy realigning your timeline. Creation starts speaking to you again. Winds carry messages. Numbers repeat. Songs find you. Everywhere you go, patterns form like divine breadcrumbs. Your heart begins to beat in sync with heaven's drumline. When you pray, it doesn't sound rehearsed, it sounds remembered. You begin to recognize the voice that called you back from silence. Even your physical body starts to respond. Old fatigue lifts. Your lungs expand like they remember Eden. You crave light, stillness, clarity. The appetite of the resurrected is different. You no longer hunger for attention, only alignment. People around you notice. Some stare, unsure why your presence feels electric. That's the signature of return, the voltage of a soul freshly charged by heaven. You'll find yourself in random moments of tears, not from sorrow, but recognition. Your spirit remembers, I've been here before, but this time I'm awake. Everything familiar now glows slightly, streets, voices, even shadows, as if reality itself knows you're walking resurrected. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. The code of your calling is synchronizing with divine time. Your entire being hums with one ancient phrase. The grave has released me. If your spirit is burning while reading this, if your chest feels like lightning is waking up inside your bones, that's not emotion, that's recognition. Your soul remembers the sound of resurrection. This is the moment heaven measures response. Every miracle begins with movement. Every return begins with a seed. When Lazarus walked out, he didn't walk out empty-handed. He carried testimony. And testimony is always followed by an offering, a moment to mark the shift from burial to becoming. So pause. Breathe. Listen to the tremor under your ribs. That's destiny knocking. If your heart says, "This is me," then honor the moment with a step that means something in both realms. Click Super Thanks. Sign your $20 seed, not as a transaction, but as a declaration. I rise with purpose. Whisper it when you give. Type it in faith. Say it out loud if you must. Heaven hears intent louder than volume. The act itself becomes a timestamp in eternity's archives. Here, the resurrection began. You are not paying for prophecy. You are partnering with the promise. The seed is not for God's memory, it's for yours. It marks the day you said, "I am not staying in the grave another day." As you release it, imagine this: light pouring through the cracks of your old seasons, new doors forming in walls you thought were permanent, and the sound of change dissolving in midair. Because when you give in resurrection frequency, you don't lose, you launch. Heaven records every resurrection. And this moment will bear your name. Walk humbly, light is loud enough. You don't need to announce resurrection, your presence already does. Every step you take hums with the frequency of the risen. The world will feel it before they hear it. Do not argue with those who still think you're buried. Graves don't hold grudges, and neither should you. The resurrected have no time for revenge, only revelation. Move quietly, but with command. Let your peace do the talking. Forgive quickly, it confuses the darkness. Mercy is the accent of the reborn. Do not try to prove your transformation, just live it. Light doesn't debate with shadows, it simply shines until they retreat. When old environments try to pull you back, remember, you are no longer compatible with decay. Carry yourself like someone who got another sunrise they didn't deserve. Every inhale is a second chance. Every exhale is a message, I'm still here. Guard your new breath. Don't waste it explaining your process to those who mocked your pause. They weren't meant to understand your silence, they were meant to witness your sound. Stay low to the ground, humility keeps power stable. The higher heaven lifts you, the softer your tone must become. Resurrection doesn't roar for attention, it radiates inevitability. Protect your peace like a crown. Speak when the Spirit stirs, rest when He whispers enough. Do not chase platforms, they will now begin to chase you. Heaven's light is magnetic to destiny. And remember this, resurrected ones are always sent, never static. Your rising was not for display, it was for deployment. The grave was your training ground, the world is your assignment. So walk, steady, silent, unstoppable. Let gratitude be your armor, forgiveness your weapon, and purpose your compass. You carry proof that eternity interrupts endings. You are living, breathing evidence that God never wastes a grave. Lord of resurrection, breath of the buried, architect of second dawns, thank you for reviving what the world declared dead. You stepped into my silence and rewrote the script. You turned graves into greenhouses. You turned endings into entrances. Every forgotten dream now trembles with new life. Every delayed promise exhales again. You have proven that time itself serves your timing. So breathe again, Lord, into every reader, every listener, every chosen one who thought their purpose expired. Let them feel breath entering the dry places of their soul. Let hearts that once felt hollow beat again with the thunder of divine recall. Raise their vision from dust. Restore their peace. Reignite their assignment. Rewrite their names in light. We thank you for the silence, it taught us how to listen. We thank you for the darkness, it made the dawn unforgettable. And now, Father, as we stand on the edge of resurrection's horizon, seal this moment in eternity's ledger. Let it be written beside our names, they once thought you were dead, but heaven knew better.